Drop it, lines, 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 drop it, lines. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in to Apollo Racing Club here tonight as we get ready to go around the Watkins Glen circuit, the Cup circuit, 40 times. 40 times tonight. Should be a grand old race. I'm Adam EV500. James Williamson will be joining us hopefully shortly. Looking at the standings after last week's performance, we had Andrew Serwick have his lowest finish up, one of his lowest finishes of the season, 7th place. He's still on top with 280 points. Cody Barrett, 2nd place, 248 points. Championship still to be decided as we start our next 4-race block here to wrap up this season. Austin Armstrong, 3rd place, 236 points. Eric Oliva with 227 in 4th place. And in the top 5, it's going to be Craig Bray there with 220 points. So, wrapping up practice session here, the quickest lap time, Colin Kinzer with a 114.05. So, it's a 2-lap lone qualifier. They're going to be given 10 minutes here on the clock to be able to complete their first lap here. Chris Taylor going to be the first man to go out. So here he goes. We see Austin Armstrong already out of the pit lane here. And we'll head on board with him. Austin Armstrong from Charlottesville, Virginia. If you ain't first, you're last, is his quote for the night. As he will attempt the bus stop here. Now you can see Austin, he's being very gingerly on the throttle, and pretty much what's the difference in this course versus the normal Watkins Glen course is that it cuts the boot part off. So we're basically going from the exit of the boot right into that straightaway and into the last couple of corners. And here comes Austin Armstrong as we will take a ride, with him. Let's go ahead and watch this lap unfold here as he now comes into turn number 1. Again, you got to be very ginger on the throttle through here, especially in this truck. That's why we're seeing times in the 114s. We'll get the timing board up. Again, Austin Armstrong in the number 3. So he now goes down that first straightaway. Will be coming into the bus stop. You have to brake so much earlier than what you usually would do. Austin Armstrong, who is currently, again, sitting in the 3rd spot with 236 points. He is still within a championship grasp, though he did miss one race this season at the Bristol Dirt Track. Now he's coming down into the penultimate corner here. This is where, again, you have to be steady on the brakes. If you're too hard, you're going to spin the tires. You're going to get some wheel hopping. Doesn't look like much wheel hopping is happening now, and he'll cross the line here to complete his first lap. We'll see what kind of a time it is. It's a 114.5. Dylan Pitch goes second quick with a 115.8. Let's head to Tommy Lee Cogan making his debut race here tonight as he comes out of the almost penultimate corner. Brock Whiteman, 3rd quickest with a 116.14. Chris Taylor, a 117.67. Tommy Cogan out to make his first lap official as Dominic Rossi now goes second quick, a 115.73. Cody Barrett now 4th quick with a 116.04. Here comes Tommy Lee Cogan, and he crosses the line. Where does he land? He lands on the pole with a 114.21. Let's head over to our championship leader, Andrew Serwick, as he's coming through the S's. Andrew Serwick in the number 22. Gets to the bus stop, has to, again, this race is so difficult because it's going to be difficult to pass for these drivers. They're going to have to get alongside in order to make a pass down a straight in order to get anywhere close to a pass. You can't dive bomb these cars in or you will have a massive, massive problem. It's now Brock Whiteman, 115.77. That puts Cody Barrett down into the 6th spot. Now here comes Andrew Serwick as Mark Feeney goes on 116.54 into that 8th spot. Andrew Serwick's first lap time is going to be third quick, a 115.40. Cody Barrett moves up into the 4th spot, a 115.67. Let's head over to Charles Bertram. Craig Bray, 8th quick, a 116.30. Comes into the bus stop, gets over the curb a little bit, gets a little bit of air underneath him. We got less than 5 minutes to go here in qualifying. Top 5 looks like this: Tommy Cogan, Austin Armstrong, Andrew Serwick, Cody Barrett, Dominic Rossi, Brock Whiteman, all in the top 6. Charles Bertram, the number 14 Toyota, coming into that final turn, gets a little bit on the curb, but does a nice job to collect it, and he's going to cross the line to complete his lap here, and he goes across. Where does he land? He lands. Charles Bertram, where'd he go? He did not complete that lap. He went off track. But Micah Curtis goes 8th quick. So that's going to be the other challenging part, is that unlike in NASCAR, where the track limits are very, very loose as they are, iRacing doesn't allow that. So you have to still stick within those track limits, which makes driving this truck even more difficult around a circuit like this, like Watkins, Glen, where there's a lot of runoff area, especially through turn 1 and through turn 11. He's coming through here, gets a little bit wide. That may count as an off track, as John Krauser goes 3rd fastest. Wow, 114.85. Hello, John Krauser. Welcome back, sir. To the front of the field for him. Charles Bertram now rounding the final corner. You can see he got a little bit stingy and he hit the wall there. I don't think this lap is going to count. We'll see what happens. And he'll cross the line and it will not count. And Shady Ahmad also having issues as well, as he had a spin, and he will not count as well, and he'll cross the line, but he will have some work to do tonight. Shady Ahmad in the number 98 Ford F-150. Not sure where James is at. Give him a message here, see where he's at. Shady Ahmad, I think, has got another lap maybe. He's running again here. We'll find out. Less than 2 minutes to go here. We allowed the extra qualifying time because it is a road circuit, so you might crash on the outlap. Got to get a chance to run at least one clean lap. And he'll cross the line. Does he go anywhere? No, he does not. So that will end qualifying here. Again, we're at Watkins Glen, the Cup configuration. which is a beautiful, beautiful track. If you've never seen have never seen the NASCAR race here, I would highly recommend you do. So get ready here for the starting lineup. We still got a minute left here for drivers to come to grips. And there's your qualifying order. Tommy Kogan in his first ever NASCAR truck race here at Apollo Racing Club takes the pole. Austin Armstrong in second, John Krauser in third. Andrew Serwick in fourth, Cody Barrett fifth. So good showing from them. Dominic Rossi, Brock Whiteman, Pitt, Dylan Pitch, Micah Curtis, Craig Bray, 6th through 10th, and Mark Feeney and Chris Taylor are 11th and 12th. And, of course, our four non-qualifiers. We have four non-qualifiers. Colin Kinzer, Gary Colley, Charles Bertram, and Shady Ahmad, all not being able to put up a qualifying lap here tonight. So we have 16 drivers, and only 12 were able to make the qualifying. So let's take a look at the grid for tonight's race. On the pole, it's going to be the number 55 of Tommy Lee Kogan. In second place on the outside, it's going to be the number 3 of Austin Armstrong. In third place, the number 502 of John Krauser. Andrew Serwick in fourth place, and the number 22 in fifth place, the number 402 of Cody Barrett. In sixth place, the number 11 of Dominic Rossi. In seventh, the number 41 of Brock Whiteman. In eighth place, the number 411 of Dylan Pitch. In ninth place, the number 9 of Micah Curtis. In 10th place, rounding out the top 10 tonight, the number 709 of Craig Bray. Outside of the top 10 tonight, Mark Feeney in the number 73. In 12th, it's going to be the number 51 of Chris Taylor. Looking farther back in the field, it's going to be Charles Bertram in the number 14 and Colin Kinzer in the number 46 and 13th and 14th. And our last two drivers here tonight, the number 98 of Shady Ahmad and the number 25 of Gary Colley. So there we go. That is the qualifying order here for this one. We are going to do a full pace lap to get everybody a chance. Just one more time, go through the motions. So 40 laps around this circuit. Here we go for the pace lap. Of course, no safety cars here in the truck series. You crash, you're pretty much out of this. But this could be a very competitive race. These guys will have two tire options, two tires to switch with one fast repair. It does make the race a little bit spicy. But this circuit is 2.4 miles long, which in hindsight, I mean, again, we're running minute laps. So 14 lap times in quali trim. Pace car should be coming off here. And it's going to be time to go green flag racing here. And here we go. Green is out. Tommy Lee Kogan going to take off from the race lead from Austin Armstrong and Andrew Surwick. He's on the outside of Austin Armstrong, but here comes the 502 of John Krauser and the 402 of Cody Barrett. He's trying to shoot down the inside. It's not going to be enough, though. Everybody keeping it clean through turn one. Now the real question is how do they come through the S's? Tommy Kogan breaks out into a massive lead now. 0.8 of a second in front of Austin Armstrong. Cody Barrett and John Krauser battling out here for the final podium position here on lap number one. Andrew Surwick was the unlucky dog in that one. As he falls back down into 5th place. He's already lost one position. Now they come through the bus stop. Everybody keeping it clean. Oh, and there's somebody in the wall. That's the 51 of Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor could not get slowed down in time, and he went slamming into the inside barrier. And Shady Ahmad is already out of this one. Andrew Surwick trying to set up a move on to Cody Barrett, and we're going to be rounding out lap number one here. Shady Ahmad was in the pits. And Andrew Surwick has now fallen back down into 6th after trying to set up a move onto Cody Barrett. Now he has a couple positions to make up. Now he's got to be careful of that number 9 of Micah Curtis. Able to get free of him, and now it is a race on in the back. Charles Bertram has trying to make up some ground as well. Same with Dominic Rossi as they come through the S's down into the backstretch. Now on lap number 2 of 40. Again, these early moves are going to be making or breaking the race. And somebody else is into the wall. And massive carnage here into the bus stop. That's Craig Bray. And it looks like Dylan Pitch as well involved. Looks like they're able to keep going here. Question is, how's this steering? Steering's not too bad. Looks like. Let's check on Craig Bray. Craig Bray, he's got some more damage. Let's take another look at that. Here they come down into the bus stop. Oh, and Dylan Pitch doesn't get slowed down enough and just gets into the rear of Craig Bray, and that sends him flying. Austin Armstrong trying to get his lead out to about a second over John Krauser in 2nd place. And John Krauser in 3rd. Cody Barrett has some company here of Brock Whiteman. So now come through the outer loop. And we'll head into the cup section here. Again, that is just a straight cut cross into the penultimate corner. Craig Bray in the pits already to repair some damage. Seeing a lot of guys going off track, but it's absolutely fine. We do not have an incident limit on this one. You can see these guys in the back, they're really trying to come to grips still. A lot of these guys, again, this is a different discipline in the NASCAR truck. It's not like your typical race car on a road circuit. It's it's very, very loose. It doesn't respond to you right away. See Andrew Serwick try to gear up a pass. He gets a little bit loose out of the bus stop, able to collect it, and here comes Charles Bertram around the inside in the outer loop. So we're seeing times in the 113s by Tommy Kogan, and everybody else 115s or 114s. Andrew Serwick is getting chased down here by the number 9 of Micah Curtis. Down the inside, Curtis goes, and he gets the position. And Andrew Serwick, he tried to whip it in too hard up the hill. And that's going to lose him a lot of time. Still trying to collect it. In the end, finally does, but now Micah Curtis is taking now that spot away. Now Cody Barrett has somebody on the inside. That's the number 46 of Colin Kinzer. And Cody Barrett spins around in the bus stop. Got to be careful of anybody coming through. Here comes Serwick. Here comes Rossi. It looks like he is going to clear it. He is now fallen back all the way down to 10th spot. Into the 10th spot, and now Colin Kinzer right on the bumper here of Brock Whiteman with Charles Bertram gunning behind. Says Cody Barrett crashed. And he did crash somewhere, I think, unless that's his hood. Let's take a look at it. Oh, yep, that is coming into the bus stop. So watch him spin again. Hits that. Oh, he just got way too much curb there. And whoop, he just unsettled that car. Colin Kinzer battling here with Brock Whiteman. Colin Kinzer really trying to push the issue here with Brock Whiteman as they now head into turn number 1. He's trying to go down the inside, and it doesn't. It's not enough at this point in the race. And finally, my color commentator has arrived. James, this race has already turned into what we expected it to be.
Hello, Adam. Yeah, sorry, I was... I'll tell you later. So we are watching Colin Kinzer and Brock Whiteman battling now through the bus stop. But yeah, Tommy Kogan leading away on his debut. So the hot hand on the old road courses. But here we are, lap 7.
Colin Kinzer getting around Brock Whiteman here in the bus stop. Now he puts himself in the 4th place. Colin Kinzer now has gained 10 positions so far tonight. Man's on a mission. We're seeing currently some red events here as it's looks like Dylan Pitch has had an off somewhere. We'll go to that in just a moment as we're seeing a 3-car battle here with Charles Bertram and Brock Whiteman, and as well as Colin Kinzer. And here they come down in the turn 1. Charles Bertram not close enough to make a move at this point, and we've seen quite a bit of carnage so far in the early stages here as we hit lap number 8.
Yeah, it looks like we have. I'm gonna be. I haven't seen a single moment of this racing, so I kind of hopped into the channel. Um, but looking at it, I might finish shame. Craig Bray and Taylor have had issues. Charles Bertrand though, he's looking to outmove, using all that curb a bit too much, a little bit slidey there, but he may have a chance on the inside here. Can he get the move done down the back straight? Sliding through that corner, that might compromise him.
Yeah, a little bit of compromise there.
I think he's not going to get the move done. Big shock across the front there by Brock Whiteman. Fair but hard racing there.
That was incredibly hard racing there by Brock Whiteman. Again, track limits, we don't care about that today. It's not like your typical road course race, and if this is your first time actually catching NASCAR on a road course, they are generally pretty forgiving on track limits. And there goes Brock Whiteman, and Charles Bertram locks his brakes up. He's able to avoid the carnage, and now he is going to take away the position. Thank you to a mistake, but Micah Curtis might take advantage.
Yeah, I'd say Micah Curtis might profit here. 2 spots. All the S's, but Charles Bertrand holding strong on the inside. Do his second part. Now it's all about the run down to the bus stop. Micah Curtis looks like he's got the move done. Will Charles Bertrand, though, manage to get back by the inside down into the bus stop, or will he have to wait a little while? And he does. But again, he's sliding through every corner. Not holding back. He's looking for that inside move through here. He slid out the corner last time, Adam. Will he do have a better exit this time? Certainly does.
Yep.
He's not like slides in front of Micah through there. So for Charles Bertrand, he got that 5th place in the end. He certainly didn't take the route to get to it that we expected. And Micah Curtis, though, he's profited from Brock Whiteman's mistake, and he's in P6.
I want to go back here. Dylan Pitch had a crash, and I want to check this guy out. He was involved in an earlier incident in the bus stop. Let's see what happens to him as he comes into turn number 1. Just turns the car, doesn't respond, and he spins her around. Very typical.
Yeah, very typical, and also almost identical to what we saw Brock Whiteman do just now. Turn 1 is a very tricky turn in these cars, or trucks.
It is. It is. You got to get on the brakes early. You got to start shifting down to get that engine braking, and then you got to make the corner. These trucks are incredibly difficult. Just NASCAR stock cars in general, anything NASCAR related is going to be incredibly difficult to run on a road course because of the amount of things you have to do in order to run just a clean lap. As we saw in qualifying, 4 guys did not even were able to make a time because the fact that they would go wide on a corner and get an off track or hit the wall, something. You have to be absolutely proficient at everything in these cars.
They certainly do. They are unruly beasts, Adam. These road courses. Andrew Serwick, our championship leader in P8 at the moment.
He's down 4 positions so far. He's slowly making it up, but it's a hard climb from here to try and maybe win this one.
It's certainly that. I think he just needs to try and minimise his losses tonight, or it might end up just being one of his drop races.
Oh, and a little contact there.
Cody Barrett gave him the old nudge, but came out worse. Again, it's turn 1, like I say, it's such a difficult braking zone, and it looks like Cody Barrett overshot it there. But luckily for Andrew, I think he only got a tap in the rear and he's carried on. But Cody Barrett lost a position to Gary Corley there and loses a bit more time in his battle. P10 for Cody Barrett. Andrew Serwick trucks on in 8th.
Well, looking at the battle here for P2, starting to form up here. This is between Colin Kinzer and the 502 of John Krauser. John Krauser being impeded by a lap car. Now, the rules on blue flags, there are none. And now we're seeing pit stops.
Yep, Austin Armstrong and Colin Kisner have both pitted on lap 12, so I see this will be the first of 2 stops.
Yep, it's a 2-stopper. So we're seeing guys pit early here. They want to maybe get their tanks full I don't know if they'll take tires here. Let's watch Austin Armstrong here, see if he goes up on the jacks. Looks like Kinzer is on the jacks, so he will take fresh new tires, but Austin Armstrong just feeling he's on his way.
I would, if you have to, I would have taken tires first 2 stops, but.
Oh, and there goes the lap car, the number 73 of Mark Feeney going around. Luckily, John Krauser able to avoid that and able to get on his way, and he will remain in that second spot.
But it might compromise him in holding on to the second spot when he does pit, because he would have lost a bit of time there with the car spinning, so it would have taken his eye off the ball for a second.
Well, he was racing for third, I should say. That's question is, how much fuel do these guys have now left? And look at the damage here on Micah Curtis. He's beat up.
Decent. He's had some incident in the last couple of laps, because he went like that when we saw him behind Andrew Serwick before.
Well, he's not.
In fact, Andrew Serwick, maybe I've something with Andrew Serwick. I can see Andrew Serwick dropping back. He's on in P10 now.
He's taken on some severe damage somewhere, but I'm not seeing any indication that he was in a crash.
That's bizarre. I mean, did they catch up to the lap car that went around Mark Feeney and have an incident with him, or did they just get bored and start eating their own cars at him? You know, these things happen. You know? You never know what's going to happen with a NASCAR driver.
Well, Dominic Rossi, Cody Baird, Andrew Serwick all in the pit. Same with Gary Cully. Let's see, Gary Cully takes tires. Same with Andrew Serwick.
I see Andrew Serwick also took a fast repair.
Yep. Cody Baird.
It's his shiny car now.
Well, Cody Baird now has taken tires.
Of course, Cody Barrett and Andrew Serwick had that little top earlier, but we'll see if that continues now. Gary Corley, he's coming out from Charles Bertrand, lap down, of course. There's only 7 cars on the lead lap at the moment. We're still waiting for Tommy Kogan to pit, which will probably cycle a few of these guys back onto the lead lap.
Tommy Kogan going to the bus stop now.
He's such a hot shoe on these road courses. I don't know, it's unreal. He's sitting in IMSARC, he's sitting AC, ACC. Just always there at the front in these races.
Well, we get a track map tonight because we are on a road course, so it's kind of hard to keep track of where everybody is. It looks like Micah Curtis into the pit lane. He took his fast repair and all 4 tires and fuel. So he will continue on. Dominic Rossi, who's now in... Go ahead.
I was surprised he didn't pit the first lap. His car was all mashed up, but I guess he's ended up so far ahead of everyone. I really wish we could find out what happened in that incident, because clearly something big's happened. But the game has decided that it wasn't worthy of a little marker for us to look at.
We have a huge crash here.
Micah
Stoic. Curtis. Let's take a look.
Sorry.
He's coming up through the S's. Looks good here, and then he just tries to turn a little bit.
Slide it.
Oh. On his roof he goes, and he has to take that long time tow back to the pit lane, and he is probably done for the day.
If he had to use his faster power already, then it's going to be all she wrote, probably.
Yeah, he will be done for the day. Micah Curtis now will be the first retirement.
Unless they got 2 fast repairs.
Oh, it looks like Shady Ahmad will be our first retirement, technically. He is out of this race. No, we only have 1 fast repair.
Oh, okay.
We had more faith in the drivers.
That's good. That's good. I prefer 1 over 2.
Well, here comes Charles Bertram into the pit lane now. He will come in and get his pit stop, and looks like we got more crashes on here. That's going to be Dylan Pitch. We'll check what happened to him. Oh, he got all out of shape here.
Oh, no.
All out of shape into the final corner and continued that momentum. And he just slides, and I don't think anybody's going to hit him. Hopefully not. No, they do not. Head over to Gary Coley. As that was happening behind him, Gary Coley comes into turn number 1.
It almost looked like someone went into the back of Dylan. Oh, oof, that's a hard impact. I don't know, like going further back, it looked like someone actually went into Dylan when he was stricken behind when Gary Coley was.
Cannot confirm that.
Huh. Yeah, I've got close, so they hit him, or they just have to go in the pits, and the old mirage effect made it look like they were going into each other. John Krauser, though, he's pitting. He's in that battle for third with Colin Kisner, so he needs to see if he comes out in front of those two, in front of him. Austin Armstrong obviously looming there as well. Austin Armstrong lost the position to Colin here through this pit cycle. One team P2 when he pitted, and now it's in effective P3.
4 tires here for Krauser. And Colin Kinzer will move up successfully into the 3rd spot.
Brock Wyman's still to pit, so he is effectively P2. Tommy Kogan as well still to pit. And at the moment, Tommy Kogan's just having an absolute stroll of an evening here at Watkins Glen.
Yep, he is enjoying himself right now. As he's
Mark
now...
Feeney. Sorry,
Oh.
Mark Feeney nearly got into the side of Brock Whiteman there. I think it was Mark Feeney.
Yep,
I
that
might
was
just
Feeney, the 73.
yeah. I should have just said Andrew, so Austin would have been happy, but you know how it goes.
Dominic Rossi. Woo!
Did all right there. Now, hold on, sorry for coughing. But Dominic Rossi gliding through that first turn. I don't know what the track temperatures are, but I assume they're quite high. They usually are when we come to Watkins Glen for whatever reason.
Well,
they don't slide in too much.
They're a little bit warm. Let's take a look at the temperature here. Track temperature, 47 degrees Celsius. Wow.
Yeah. You do not want to be sliding around in that.
And the date was only set for a couple weeks on a Saturday from now.
So that's so for the people of Watkins Glen to look forward to in real life.
Well, Brock Whiteman gets 4 tires, some fuel, and away he goes. And now John Krauser has Charles Bertram behind him. And this is when things get real spicy.
They certainly do. They certainly do. Well, John Krauser with a very bad exit there, but so that's giving Charles Bertrand a chance on the exit. The bus stop will John pinch him on the inside. He doesn't. And Charles Bertrand looks like he's got the move done on the inside here. He's going to slide up in front of John into the exit onto the back straight. And just like that, Charles Bertrand is up to P4. John Krauser down to P5. So now the question is, can Charles Bertrand catch up to Austin Armstrong and Colin Kinsley? Look at those times, 1:13.5. He's certainly got the pace.
Tommy Kogan into the pit lane now. No. He's coming out of the pit lane. Colin Kinzer has the lead of the race.
Wow.
And Tommy Kogan's got some company finally.
Yeah, he certainly has. Adam is not only he's all his own way now. Him and Colin Kisner. Oh, Kinsler, sorry. We'll see if these two battle to the end. I mean, Colin Kisner has won multiple IndyCar races here, so he's certainly a hot hand. Admittedly, that's on the boots version. But he's no slouch on these road courses either. So we've got 2 main road course aces, 1 and 2 at the moment, and within a second of each other. 22 laps to go.
22 laps to go in a 40-lap race. Seems like a reasonable distance.
It does. I just wonder how. I mean, the thing is, with how late Tommy pitted, he's going to have a very short final stop if he does that kind of length again, unless he's going to go shorter on the next two.
Well, he's probably going to go shorter. Colin Kinzer out way wide. That's going to allow Tommy Kogan to get alongside him as Dylan pitched sideways in turn one.
Yeah, and they're coming up on the lap car, Mark Feeney. See if he gets out of the way. Obviously, like I said, no need to actually do that. But we'll see how easy he plays it. Sliding out of that corner, I think he's going to let both go down this straight.
Tommy Kogan and Colin Kinzer fighting it into the bus stop. And look at how many positions Colin Kinzer has made up here. 12 spots here in this one, and that is quite the achievement, especially in a difficult race like this.
Yeah, I mean, from how far back he started, he would have to deal with a lot of carnage, but 12 positions, and now he's fighting for that win with half the race to go. So, great job by him. Work his way through this field on this first pit cycle. Charles Bertrand, I noticed in the background, is catching up to Austin Armstrong. So, while these two are battling for the win, third place is up for grabs with Austin and Charles. And, John Krauser runs out of top five. He's sort of going to be in a no man's land situation. He's not catching the front four. He's got a good gap on sixth on back.
We do have a battle forming here with Andrew Serwick and Cody Barrett. These two are fighting for the championship right now. 248 points for Cody Barrett, 280 for Andrew Serwick. This does have championship implications on it.
It certainly does, and we saw earlier that Cody tapped into the back of Andrew and came out the worst, so we'll see if these two can squabble a bit cleaner this time. Great run by Cody down the front straight.
Dominic Rossi pitting here. Here comes Cody Barrett. He's on the inside. He has the optimal line here. He's on the brakes. Andrew Serwick trying to hang with Cody Barrett around the outside. He gets a little bit squabbly on the curve. And here comes Cody Barrett.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned it. These cars do not do well riding these curves. You can't ride them as much as you kind of say with GT cars or anything like that. So you get out on those curves, sometimes you see the car just start hooking around, as you saw there with Andrew. So Cody Barrett P7, Andrew Serwick P8. Like I said, championship implications right there. But don't discount Austin Armstrong though. He's in this championship fight. He's in P4 today, so he's looking for a good day.
Yeah, he is.
He's like that.
The top three right now. Austin Armstrong is the highest in position-wise in this one so far. He is in 236 points. Fourth place gets you quite a bit of points.
Cody. Wide in, he's going to go wide here. So might give Andrew a chance to get back at him.
A little bit of a chance.
Obviously, the track limits are like go wide, but you don't want to slide out wide, especially at these temperatures.
Exactly. Fourth place gets you 34 points, while seventh place is 31 points. Is that's accurate? And eighth place gets you 20. No, I'm looking at that wrong. I'm being kind of a brain fart moment.
That's all right.
30 points for 8th, 31 points for 7th. So as we're winding down the season here, things are getting spicy here. And Charles Bertram has had it off. He is into the pit lane. You can see the smoke behind him. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened.
He must have slid into the pits, which may have caused all sorts of problems.
Oh, he got way wide on that turn, got a little bit squabbly, and luckily nobody's hit him.
I guess he's cut the tires. decided to, yeah, it's on the track. So I guess you can pit here. If you need to pit twice, then you're kind of in that window.
Yeah, I would
And
say
if you,
the window's about a lap or two if you want to have the most optimum tire.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that this is the optimal way of doing it, but you're still only going to have to do one more stop from here, Adam. That's the main thing. And if you have cooked your tyres by spinning it, sometimes it's better to just take the pain now and try to be a bit more sensible on the tyres through this final stint. Assuming he's used both sets at this point. Cody Barrett using all them curves there. Through the bus stop, you saw that car bouncing. That truck. He's starting to put a bit of a gap on Andrew. See if he can catch up to Brock Whiteman. He's putting in faster times, but he's got a lot of gap to make up to catch up to Brock Whiteman. You see Brock Whiteman going through the S's at the moment as Cody Barrett heads around to the final turn and onto the front straight. So it's going to be a lot of work to do, Adam, but it's not impossible.
Well, Tommy Cogan right now is in between some lapped cars. He once again, 5 seconds again in the lead. He's back out there all by himself. As we see the Micah Curtis out, Chris Taylor out, and same with Shady Ahmad. So 3 drivers DNFing from this one. So we now have 16 laps to go here.
16 laps indeed. Tommy Cogan came out P2 after the pits and he took that personally as he got round Colin Kisner and then put 6 seconds on him. Tommy Cogan is setting a pace today. Unfortunately, no one seems to be able to match. But we watch Brock Whiteman, P5 at the moment. He's maybe looking at Austin Armstrong. Maybe John Krauser. Austin Armstrong seems to drop down John Krauser as well. I don't know if he's had an incident. So we've got Tommy Cogan P1, Colin Kisner 6 seconds back in P2, 18 seconds back, John Krauser in P3, with Austin Armstrong and Brock Whiteman right now at top 5. These 5 are 30 seconds ahead on the field at the moment. We've got 17 laps left, 15 laps left.
So here's an onboard. Let's ride on board here with Tommy Cogan so everybody can have a chance to kind of see what this track is like and see what Tommy Cogan is doing. He lifts a little bit at the entrance of the S's, lifts a little bit on that second turn in, shifts up as he comes down the back stretch. Here he comes into the bus stop. Watch how early he brakes here. He brakes way earlier than you normally would see a car brake here at Watkins Glen, and does a nice job navigating through the bus stop. And now he's coming in through the outer loop, and he's not even on the throttle yet. And now he finally will get back on the throttle after getting through the outer loop, and now punching it.
Yeah, it looks very calm, but I assure you it's not.
It's not really.
You have to wrestle these machines around here.
You do.
To get that lap time.
And look who Tommy Cogan is approaching here.
Yeah, our championship leader.
And way early break there. First braking board you see at Watkins Glen.
Yeah. Andrew really sliding through that turn again. But a bit of a problem on the exit there for Tommy. He got a little bit of a moment, had to correct himself. And Colin Kinzer has decided to pit with 14 to go. So he's obviously thinking maybe he can get the undercut working again. Saw it very effective the first time around. We're all just waiting to see when Tommy Cogan pits for his second time at this point. Whether he chooses to go now, he's got a lot of traffic ahead of him. He doesn't need to be held up too much by them.
Well, this This race has been interesting. I was actually surprised to see how many guys came out of the first, turn one, and we only had one incident in the bus stop in lap one. And overall, people have kept it really clean. But this is a very difficult track to drive these cars on. And oh man, as soon as I say that, I see 3 red marks on my event board here. Let's take a look. Dylan pitched. Dominic Rossi coming into turn one. Here comes Dominic Rossi down the inside. Dylan pitch, shoots it down, and he spins her out and gets T-boned.
Bonk. Don Rossi decided to take out Duffman. We've seen that a few times today. In turn one, downhill, braking, it's so difficult in these trucks. What you have to do to get out there. But Dominic Rossi and Dylan pitch both hit the pit lane. I think Dylan's already used his fast repair. Dominic Rossi not so sure if he decides he wants to use that. Well, I guess if you've got one, maybe now is the time to use it. John Krauser, P2 at the moment. He's had a solid day. A lot of people following by the side. He's kept it straight, kept his pace going. Looking like a top 5, maybe top 3 if things fall into his lap.
Well, if he should pit at this point, unless he's trying to go to the end.
I think he's pitting.
Nope, he's staying out.
I'm not sure I'll be able to make it to the end, but who knows? You know, you try a lot of different strategies here. So 12 laps to go, Adam. Tommy Kogan out leading. Is Colin Kisner going to have anything for him after he gets through this final pit cycle? When will Tommy pit? That's the question.
If Tommy
How late
pits,
will he leave it?
The fact that Tommy waited so long.
Oh yeah, he was very close to being able to make it. I think he's going to be a few laps shy, unless he's doing amazing fuel saving, which it's not beyond the realms of possibility with it. Maybe he is trying to just one-stop it.
Yeah, he pitted on lap 18. Yeah, lap 18.
Yeah.
So can he make it? That's the real question.
It's going to be... It'd be 4 laps short if you pit on 18 again. Can you get an extra 4 laps out of this? That'll be a tall ask.
Well, he was the last one to pit. Let's see here if I can get more here. Yeah, he was the last of the pit stoppers in the top 10, so... Very interesting strategies happening now.
Yep. Colin Kisner coming on the back of Brock Whiteman. So he's caught up to an actual car he needs to race. He's trying his strategy again to close the gap on Tommy through this phase, hoping he can jump him on the pit stop. Wyman, another one who's profited from keeping it out of trouble. He's got a nice gap on the rest of the field. He's looking like he's going to have a good day here at Watkins Glen if he can keep it straight in these final 10 laps. Colin now is going to have a good run out of the hairpin turn, or I don't know what I'm on about, Adam, sorry.
Colin Kinser trying to shove his way through. He's on the outside here into the final corner, but he's going to have the move done by now. But Brock Whiteman trying to pull it back. It's not going to be enough, though. Down the front stretch they go.
Yeah, he took a brave move around that outside, but managed to keep it pointed in the right direction and get the move done. And he's on his merry way. P3 now for Colin. Effective P2. Maybe you can challenge Tommy and get P1. when Tommy does pit, if he pits. That's a big if at the moment, Adam. Brock Whiteman, though, he just needs to see if he can make any headway on John while not losing any time to Brock behind. Not Brock, I mean Austin behind.
Well, now the window is closing for Krauser if he wants to maintain his a podium finish. He's pretty much lost out at this point. He would finish in the top 5. It looks like it would be a 4th place if he were to pit now. But I think at this point for Krauser, you're kind of committed to this. You kind of, you have to just take this as it is and kind of try and fuel save as much as you can. But it's going to be incredibly tough, especially if you haven't been fuel saving since the beginning of the stint.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it's past the point of return on pitting, and if you are going to fuel save, you need to decide that very early, because you can't just get halfway through a stint and then say, actually, I'm going to start fuel saving. It's a conscious effort from the start if you're going to do that. So I'm not sure if John Krause is going to go to the end. He's just trying to maybe, like I said, just get to the point where he can just do a splash, and so you hit the time is limit a lot less than people who maybe decide to pit earlier. That's all he can do to try and get back on the podium at this stage. Like I say, it's going to be very difficult to maintain that. But you'll have to do what you can to try and help that cause. So 8 laps to go, Adam. Only 5 people on the lead lap. Tommy Kogan's putting on a show.
He is putting on a good show here as we hit 8 laps to go. And, we started this rate. We had qualifying, 10-minute qualifying at 9 Eastern, and we're going to be done just past 10 Eastern here, which, again, is pretty good, I would say, for a race like this. It's going to be incredibly tough. These drivers are going to feel a little exhaustion for sure as we now heading into the final stage here of this one. And of course, next week we are back at an oval. Thankfully, we are.
Our drivers are happy with that.
Yeah, we're heading to Bristol at night. So, so we're heading to a short track. Our actual first legitimate short track of the season next week, and then we head to Pocono and wrap up the season at Homestead. That is, I'm excited for Bristol. That will be a fun race, I think, for these guys to try and navigate through as we hit it once on the dirt. Now we hit it again on the asphalt. So a lot of drivers going to have to get used to that feeling there, as it is going to be no longer just keeping your foot down and trying to make it through the corner. You're going to have to brake and going to have to be cautious, especially on a track like that. And the passing is going to be great, I feel like, for that one.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll be another race that tests the drivers. Like I say, this race has been physical. We know Bristol is going to be. There's another good week of racing, I feel, for our truck drivers next week.
Of course, tomorrow night we wrap up the ACF1 season here on Apollo Racing Club. Join us again tomorrow night at 9 Eastern for Barcelona to wrap up the season for ACF1. And here comes Krauser. He's got a pit. He was not going to make it to the end. He's 6 laps short. Tommy Kogan, can he make it?
I'm going to say he's going to come in with 2 to go.
That's going to be incredibly tight in terms of the undercut.
I actually want him to make it now, because it just absolutely put a rubber stamp on his day if he managed to do one stopless. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. It's just Who knows if you can actually just physically save enough fuel in a stint to get the number of laps you need. I mean, he's very close to that first one. But he's got to go 4 laps longer this time. That's a tough ask. He's really ringing that truck around now.
John Krauser out of the pits in 5th place. He waited, I think, maybe 1 or 2 laps longer. Maybe
I wonder if he took tyres.
I'm guessing he did. Tires. I mean, tires don't add too much time because you're refilling and doing tires at the same time.
But with only 6 laps of fuel needed, surely the tyres would be a lot longer than normal. You know, because if you're only in 6 laps of fuel, that's pretty much a splash.
Yeah.
So, well, you know, Brock Wyman's in the pits as well. He's probably going to promote Austin Armstrong to P3. I guess John Krause and I just want to try and stay on that lead lap. As Tommy Cogan continues his march towards the checkers flag. 5 laps to go.
5 laps to go. 4 when Tommy Cogan here crosses the start-finish line.
He's pitting.
He's pitting. Here we go. This is the one to watch here. We'll keep an eye on Tommy Cogan here on the mini-map. You can see him on the 55 in the pit lane.
He's got potential to be very close with him and Colin.
I think he's going to get it done. No, Tommy Cogan already coming out of the pits. Tommy Cogan.
Well, he did what John Crowder should have done and just taken the very brief amount of fuel he needed.
Oh, no. Tommy Cogan has not come out of the pits. He's on the first pit stall. Colin Kinser's going to get the pass for the lead here.
Might do. No, he is going to do. Yeah. Wow. He's going to have a big gap as well. I don't think Tommy's going to be able to get this done in 4 laps. What's happening? Has he had a penalty? He must have had a penalty on him. He's sitting there far too long. Far too long a time to be sat there.
He's going to drop not only from the lead, but he's outside the podium here as John Krauser moves up into the podium position.
Well, we did say John needed something to fall into his lap. And it looks like Tommy Cogan picked up a whole penalty, possibly for an unsafe entry or speeding. Wow, now Tommy Cogan's going to be really, really mad and really on a charge in these final 4 laps.
Well, this race has turned on its head here as Tommy Cogan picked up a pit lane penalty. I'm guessing it was for speeding.
It probably was, and it's like I said, 40-second hold. And it's literally thrown away the win. Colin Kinser now 20 seconds ahead. He's just got to keep it in the right direction, and no one's going to be able to challenge him at this stage for that victory. Austin Armstrong P2, great recovery by him. And I guess it's now, can John Krauser hold on to that P3? He's going to have an incredibly hard charge in Tommy Cogan in these final 3 laps. He has got a 10-second gap, but I don't know, with Tommy, if that's enough, especially with him when he's had a misjudgment like that, and he's just trying to recover what he can. But Adam, as we always see with these truck races, it's never over till it's over.
You're exactly right. No green-white checker in this one, at least.
That's true, but even so, Colin Kisner has profited greatly from Tommy Cogan's mistake. He looks like he's going to stroll away to victory. Austin Armstrong, in his championship fight, a P2 today, will help his cause.
P2 gets you 35 points.
It's a big difference.
That is huge. So 35 points. I mean, right now, Andrew Serwick in 7th. He's going to pick up 31 points. Cody Barrett in 6th. That's going to give him 32 points. It'll be the 3rd time Cody Barrett has finished 6th in a race. I think we're going to be in for an exciting end to this season. So we now are 2 laps to go here at the Glen.
I would say 3 rounds after this. Certainly all to play for. And certainly an array of tracks between Bristol, Pocono and Homestead. 3 very different circuits that we've got coming up. So it's going to be a great end to the season if this holds true. Austin Armstrong, Andrew Serwick, Cody Barrett. Look at the man leading today, Colin Kisner. I think if he'd been at more rounds, he would have been in this championship fight. I think he's going to have two or three wins out of his 3 or 4 races done.
Well, he won last week at Michigan.
And he won the season opener.
Yep. So he's going to get 3 wins on the season, tying Andrew Serwick on the win column.
But a lot of DNSs, so that's affected him. On the white flag final lap, Colin Kisner just a couple of miles away from victory.
And he doesn't have to press the issue here with Cody Barrett if he doesn't want to.
He probably didn't like seeing Cody swirling out that turn 1 though. You don't want any mishaps now. Like I said, he can drop back as far as he wants.
What a race this has turned out to be. What turned into a decent pit strategy for Tommy Cogan. Ended up, I don't. Well, it would have been close between Kinzer and Cogan on that pit stop.
Oh, it would have been.
I think Kinzer would have been in favor.
Oh yeah, it would have been a grandstand finish. I'm sure between those two, as you saw the first time when Tommy pitted. But unfortunately, Tommy decided to take a 40-second hold penalty, and it's just knocked him back to 4th. John Krauser, Austin Armstrong, Colin Kisner all benefiting. Colin Kisner around the final turn. He is our victor today. And again, as I said, it's never over till it's over. And Colin Kisner winning today certainly proves that. Austin Armstrong has got to make his way through the final couple of turns to take P2. So if you ain't first, you're last. So I guess Austin Armstrong's going to feel his last today. But P2 helps his championship fight as he tries to claw back the gap on Andrew Serwick. And John Krauser, what a race. P3. He kept it clean.
He kept it very clean. He just had to drive his own race.
He benefited again from everyone else around him falling by the wayside. And a great drive by him. Tommy Cogan, wow, P4. He had the win in his palm of his hands and let it slip with that late pit penalty. So, lap cars are starting to finish. Andrew Serwick, P7. Gary Corley, P8. Craig Brain, Mark Feedy both finishes in 10th and 11th, 2 laps back. Dylan Pitcher, we've seen in a few incidents today, is going to come in P9. And we're just waiting for Cody Barrett to finish, who was the last car on the lead lap.
There he is, and he's coming around the corner here, and he will cross the line in P6. A good recovery run from him. But Colin Kinzer, your race winner, and Austin Armstrong second, and John Krauser third. Let's take a look at those final results.
I want to look back at Cody Barrett flying into space there.
It's very loud. So, well, Colin Kinzer with the win over Austin Armstrong. John Krauser third. Tommy Cogan in his debut was led majority of the laps today and fell short due to a penalty. Brock Whiteman in 5th, Cody Barrett 6th, Andrew Serwick 7th, Gary Cully 8th, Dylan Pitch 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Craig Bray in that 10th and final, that 10th position. Outside of the top 10 tonight, Mark Feeney, Dominic Rossi, Charles Bertram, Micah Curtis, Shady Ahmad, and Chris Taylor are 3 DNFs. Micah Curtis, Shady Ahmad, and Chris Taylor. Well, that was definitely not in the cards tonight. So, well, let's take a brief pause here. We'll get our podium finishers here and talk with them a bit about their race. And when we come back, we'll have hopefully Colin Kinzer here in the booth. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Colin Kinzer joining us here in the broadcast booth. Colin, I I think you made the pit strategies tonight. Unfortunately for Tommy Cogan, had a penalty on pit road, but you came away with your third win of the season.
Yeah, I screwed up quali, so I had to start at the back, and then it was pretty sketchy. And then I almost took out about 2 cars at the bus stop, but they spun off in front of me because the guy hit him in the back, so I got lucky right there. But yeah, I knew I had an undercut because Tommy was so far up the road, and I did undercut him, and then he got fresh tires and just blew by me, so I undercut it again, and then I came out in the lead by like 20 seconds, so I knew something happened to him, so to win from there.
Gained 13 spots tonight to win this one. How difficult was this race?
Mentally, it was terrible because the car is so bad to drive, especially on old tires. The front just won't turn, and the brakes in turn one are awful. But I think everyone raced pretty clean, so I mean, it wasn't bad on the track.
Well, next week we head to a short track, Bristol. Do you look back at this season and see the 4 races you missed and go, if I would have made those races or maybe just missed one race, I would be in this championship?
Yeah, probably because Andrew's pretty mid at the game, I must say. But I think
Like that.
those naps were worth it.
Well, congratulations, Colin, on your not only your third win but your your second win back to back.
Yep, thank you.
Colin Kinzer, our race winner here tonight. Guess who we get to talk to? We get to talk to John Krauser, as Austin Armstrong does not have a microphone, so we won't be able to talk with him. Well, let's bring in John Krauser. John Krauser joining us in the broadcast booth on his first podium of the season here at the ARC NASCAR Truck Series. That race looked tough, John, but you were consistent, didn't make a mistake, and you were rewarded with a podium.
I think that's pretty much the summary of my race because that's pretty much what kept me in it. I think my pace fell off pretty hard towards the end of each stint. Like the tire was great, and then went to like this really bad valley. But towards the very end, when the fuel lighted up, it seemed to get a little bit better. But yeah, I didn't have nothing for Tommy and Charles before he made a mistake. Austin, Colin. So I'm really happy with this podium.
Looking at that race as a whole, we asked Colin this question: how difficult was this race tonight?
It by far one of the hardest race I thought I did was Long Beach in the IndyCar. I think this is right up there. It's not that it can't take a bump. It's more like the car understeers so hard. The traction out of the corner is so low. And at any moment in time, if you just give the tire too much, I felt that it just would loop you around. It was definitely a really difficult one.
It was on pins and needles at the end there. Of course, Tommy Cogan having an issue in pit lane, and which Grant just basically handed you the podium. Were you expecting? What was kind of the race plan for tonight?
Consistency was number one. Forget all the strategy. It was just not looping the truck around. Then once I halfway through the race, when I realized, oh wait a minute, I'm actually in this, I started thinking strategy. And maybe if I was a little more clever and thought about it up front, I maybe would have done a little bit better. I took left side tires on my final stop. And if I didn't, I may have been closer to Austin to attempt to move. But I don't know if the time lost on staying on 4 old tires would have been worth it.
Well, you get your first podium tonight, and looking at the standings, you're going to be in a decent position. Of course, definitely not hunting a championship, but a good podium finish tonight. Next week we head to Bristol on asphalt, and this will be short track racing. What are you expecting from that?
I actually did the LA Coliseum during the officials, and I actually had, in my opinion, I had a pretty solid performance there. So I like short track racing because you're constantly doing something. I can't stand super speedway racing. by comparison. So yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
Well, we'll see you next week, John, and congratulations on your podium.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That was John Krauser here finishing third here at ARC NASCAR Truck Series. Well, James, I think if there's anything we can sum up here, it was Tommy Kogan dominance until it was not.
Yeah, he had the race in his hand, and like I say, it's never over till it's over. And a pit road penalty gives Colin that win. His third win of the season. Great job by him. Great comment on Andrew by him. And we move on to Bristol, Adam. And like I said, the championship's wide open between Andrew, Austin, and Cody. So we're in for an exciting final 3 weeks, I would imagine. It's going to go right to the end, this one.
Well, thank you, James, for joining me here in the broadcast booth as always. And, of course, thank you to all at home for watching. Make sure to hit that follow button on Twitch. Head over to YouTube and look up Apollo Racing Club and hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in joining our NASCAR Truck Series, you can head over to discord.gg/Apollo Racing Club or head over to grid-finder.com and searching up Apollo Racing Club there, or head over to our SimGrid site and just search Apollo Racing Club and sign up today. And we will return to action next Tuesday at Bristol 9 Eastern qualifying, and we'll get cars on track at 9:07. Well, for everybody here at Apollo Racing Club, we want to thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you tomorrow night for the season finale of the ACF1 Championship. Good night, everybody.